Okay, so today the little mini lesson we're going to do is about what does it mean to annotate? So we're looking at why do we annotate and what do we do when we want to annotate? So take a look at this anchor chart over here. When we talk about annotation, what we're talking about is the things that we write on our paper, okay? So reasons why we might write in the margin. We write to connect to things. So if I'm reading something, I'm like, oh yeah, that same thing happened to me. That's a connection. We respond to things. So that can look a lot of different ways. I can respond to something like, oh wow, I really love that, or I hate that, or I can respond with any one of these other things too. So I might visualize something as I'm reading. If there's a description, I can see it in my head. I might make a comment about what I'm seeing in my brain with my mental images. I might write something in the margin to clarify. So if I'm reading something and I have one of those like aha moments, oh, that's what that means. That's why he said that earlier, because blah, blah, blah. I'm clarifying my own understanding. I might write in the margins with a question. I might, well, why would he do that? Why would this character say that thing to that lady? Right? That's a question I might write in the margins. Or I might write in the margins to summarize. So as I'm reading, this is particularly useful with informational texts. So as I'm reading this science chapter in my book, I might summarize, okay, so this is how the water system works. And I just jot down very quickly in a sentence or two the whole thing that I just read. I summarize it and condense it. So these are all the different reasons that we might write in the margin. Now, let's just be real quick, okay? So we are doing virtual learning right now, and we don't really know how long this is going to go, okay? This might go for a few weeks. We could go back to school and then have to do virtual again if people start getting sick in our area. We might have to be virtual for the whole year. We really don't know right now. I'm not saying that to scare you or to freak you out, but I'm saying it because at the end of the year when we have to take the STAR test, we don't know if we're going to take it online or in person. It might just be online for everyone's safety, so we're not passing papers back and forth. We could be in class, but the point is we don't know if we're going to take it online. So what we're going to do this year is when we talk about annotation and when we talk about writing in the margins, we're going to try to teach you guys, and you're going to try to do this all online. So instead of scribbling on your paper and using an actual highlighter, we are going to use the tools up here. So you know how to make something bold by clicking on the B, italics, that was where the words kind of lean with the I. But the ones I want to focus on are the underline tool and the highlighter tool. Okay, so if you want to underline a word, you just highlight it and click underline. If I want to highlight a word, I select the word, I go up to my highlighter and I choose which color. Now, I'm going to ask you to always use yellow, teal, and pink, because those are the three highlighter colors you get on the online STAR test. So let's just get in the habit now, okay? You can use yellow, teal, and pink, and you can use them all in the same text. It's not like you have to just choose one, okay? So I can use all three if I want. Oops, not purple, pink, okay? So those are the three I get on the STAR test. So those are the ones that I want to use throughout the year as I'm practicing this, okay? Now, I might use them for different reasons, which is what we're going to get into next, okay? So real quick, I just want to model how we annotate, okay? And to do that, I'm going to use the first paragraph from the story that we're going to read all week, okay? So this is just a little sneak peek of what's coming, but I'm going to read it and I'm going to show you my annotations, and I want you to watch how I annotate and the types of things that I'm saying. The other feature we're going to use is the comments section. That's the writing in the margins. Normally you'd scribble next to the story. We're just going to pop it into the margins over here. Okay, so this is what it would look like. So as I read, I'm going to think aloud and I'm going to do these things in the margins, okay? She was a large woman with a large purse that had everything in it but a hammer and nails. Oh man. I can totally see that. I'm like picturing my grandma right now when I read that. Totally picturing my Mima. So I highlighted it because I want to remember it, and I added a comment. It had a long strap. Oh, okay, that must be the purse. It had a long strap, and she carried it slung across her shoulder. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and she was walking alone. Oh, there's my setting. 11 o'clock at night. Okay, I'm going to also go ahead and highlight that while I'm thinking about it. Oh, I did the wrong one. Okay. When a boy ran up behind her and tried to snatch her purse. Ugh, I'm going to respond to that. I think I'm going to do my responses in teal. Rude. Who just tries to steal an old lady's purse? The strap broke with a single tug the boy gave it from behind. But the boy's weight and the weight of the purse combined caused him to lose his balance. So instead of taking off full blast as he had hoped, the boy fell back on the sidewalk and his legs flew up. Ha. Ha. Another just like response type thing. Okay. The large woman simply turned around and kicked him right square in his blue jeans sitter. Oh, man. Definitely had that coming. Then she reached down, picked the boy up by his shirt front, and shook him until his teeth rattled. Oh, man. So when I read that thing, the thing that pops into my head is, what is going to happen next? What is this lady about to do to this boy who just tried to steal her purse? Okay, so let's pause there. Do you see how as I was reading, I'm thinking the whole time, I'm thinking about what I'm reading, and then whatever is in my head, I'm putting on the paper, right? Whether that's a visualization, I'm picturing my grandma with the way that this lady is described, whether I am doing some clarifications, like, oh, that's the setting. Okay. I'm clarifying what I'm thinking and putting it together with what I know about my reading strategies and things like that. Maybe I am just responding when I say like, oh, that's so rude. Haha, you had that coming. Okay. Those are responses. And then maybe I'm asking a question, right? What's going to happen next? What's this lady about to do to this kid who just was foolish enough to try to steal from her? Okay. So let's pause there. This is what annotating in a text looks like. It's going to take some getting used to, and that's okay. All right. I want you to try though. All right. So this week we're going to read this story. Like I said, this is the first paragraph. We're going to all read it together in a second, but this is what I want you to try to be doing while you're working. Okay. Decide which colors you're going to use for what. And then anytime you highlight something, I want to see a comment. So just to remind you, okay, we're going to use our highlighter. We can use 3 colors, yellow, teal, and pink. We're going to mark what we're looking for. So maybe one day I tell you today we're looking for setting. So just decide all the yellow is going to be my setting stuff. Maybe the next day I tell you we're looking for character traits. Okay, I'm going to use all my teal or pink for character traits. You decide what the colors mean. Okay, but then you got to stick to it. You can use the underline tool. If I were you, here's what I would underline. I would underline the things you have questions about and the connections you're making. So my connections and my questions, I would underline those things, okay? When we talk about connections, just a quick note, I'm talking about when you connect to the text yourself. Oh, that reminds me of a time that happened to me. I'm talking about text-to-text connections. That could be a story you read, or it could be a book, a song. Oh, this reminds me of that Beyonce song. This reminds me of that book that we read in 5th grade, okay? Or text to world. Oh, that reminds me of what I saw in the news the other day. That reminds me of that thing that everyone was talking about on TikTok that's going on in the world. Those are those text to world connections. So when you're getting outside of yourself and making connections from what you're reading to the world you live in. And lastly, you can use the comment feature to explain why you highlighted or underlined. Right now, I want everyone to look at that word. Okay? You have to comment if you underline or highlight. I will not accept work from you if it's just highlighted and underlined, because I don't know why you did that. And chances are you're going to forget why you did it too. So if you highlight or underline, you have to comment. If we were all in class together, I would have us all repeat that together. If you highlight or underline, you have to comment. Okay? So that's it for annotations. All right? That's what I expect this year. We're going to talk about how to use these things in different ways, but those are your features. Highlight, underline, comment. Okay?